Get you in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Thanks, Candace.
You're welcome. Okay, I am writing a paper on the cyborg in relation to technology in the future for a class English 1102. The first place that I will look for information is on the Kennesaw State Library website. And I will go ahead and do that. We'll go to the Kennesaw State website. And we will go to the current students. And I'm going to go under the Academic Resources tab. We'll go under the Libraries. And it brings up the Library System Search tool. And I will use the Super Search, typing in Cyborg in technology. And search. We're going to use the keyword for this one because we are looking for the actual cyborg, not the title or the author. Alright, to narrow down the search results, I see that it is one of almost 50,000 search results. So in order to narrow that down, I would look for scholarly reviews and full text. I am a commute student, so it's kind of hard for me to go to the library to find actual print text of what I'm looking for, so it's a lot easier for me to look for the online resources. So that's what I plan on doing here. And I'm gonna look, let's start with the first one. We'll look at this one and I'm gonna look at the abstract to see if this is information that I can use in my research. So I would read the abstract and see if this is what I am directing my research towards. And if it's not, I'll go to the next source and read their abstract and go from there. So now I am reading the abstract to see if this is something that I can use as a source for my research paper. Okay, this is dealing more with gender in the cyborg. This is not what I'm looking for. If it was, I would go to the full text and read the full text and use this as a source. But since this is not, I'm going to back out and go back to the main page. I'm going to take off in technology and just search for cyborg and see if it will bring up a more broader research that's not geared directly into the technology, and see if I can use any of these sources here. Alright, let's look at this one. Alright, I'm going to look at this abstract and see if this is something that I may be able to use in my research. Okay, this is something that I may use. So I am just reading the abstract. It does have information on the cyborg and its relation to humanism and post-humanism, and the effects it will have on technology in the future. So I will be able to use this source, and from there I would go to full text and actually review the full article to see what could be used for my research and what couldn't. Now, just looking at the title, I can look at the top and see what I can use as far as my site sourcing. It's from the Routledge, and it had the title, the author, and the article, the scholarly article that it's from. And this will all be used in the citing of my sources. And I would go through and read the information and take out what I think would actually work for my research, and to see if this is the source that I will actually use. Okay, this source does give a good background on the actual cybernetic organism. It tells you where the actual cybernetic organism is derived from, the Greek word, which combines cybernetic organism, and technology, and thus the cyborg, the fusion of cybernetic and organism creates the word cyborg, which is something that I can use for my research. So this will probably be a good source for me to use to kind of define the cyborg and give a little back history on how it was derived. I see that the term was coined by Manfred Clynes and Nathan Klein in 1960, so that is something that I can use as an actual fact in the research when I am describing what a cyborg is. Okay, since this is a good source to use, because it is 31 pages, I would not print off the full list of pages right now. I would usually either copy and paste a little bit of the information that I would use into a note. And let's do that now. So I would do Control C for copy, go to the notepad, do a new note, Control C for paste, Control V for paste, I'm sorry. Well, it does not allow me to copy and paste it, but that is what I would do. I would not use the copy and pasted information in my actual research paper. This is just something that I could use out of this source. And along with the text that I want to copy and paste, which is highlighted, I would also go up and copy and paste the title of the article, the author, and all of the relevant information to cite this source. And I would go through this article and do such things until I find all the information that I need for this article. So I would need all of this. I would copy and paste it along with the information that I would be using for the article and use that for my research and put it aside. That way I know what to come back to when I'm actually ready to combine my research information. So that is one source that I would use. And I would go back out and look for another source. Now, looking for these sources, most of the professors want a few scholarly articles, something in print, something from website.org, actual viable website, something that is reliable. A lot of times, if it's a .com or something like Wikipedia, a lot of times they don't want you to use that type of research because it's not necessarily a viable or a reliable source sometimes. So you have to look and make sure that it is a reliable source and something that you could use. So we'll look at this resource also. Again, we're looking at some of the keywords that you may be using in your research. This will kind of help you define and see if this is something that you could use. And also I'll be looking at the abstract to see if this is something that I can use to further express the way that I feel about the topic. And this is talking about the cyborg cockroach that is used to, they use the cockroach in the human brain. And they use it to use Bluetooth technology to control the cyborg cockroach. And this is something that they may use in the future towards humans. So this is something that I could use to show the future possibilities of the cyborg in technology. So I would go to the full text for this one. And again, I'll copy and paste and use the same thing as I did on the last source, copying the title, the information, and the actual parts of the text that I can use in my research and put it into another document and use that as one of my next sources. And I choose this link because it is one of the scholarly articles that is a reliable source. It gives all the information that you would need to cite your source. And the way that I keep up with the information that I locate is either using a Word document or a note source and copying and pasting, or I could actually print off the article if it's not a lot of pages. And let's see how many pages this one is. This is 18 pages, so I would not print this source either. I would copy and paste and see what I can use for this source and go from there. So now that we've done some research on the actual Kennesaw State website, which is the first place that I would use to look for my information. The second place, I would go to Google and type in the word cyborg. And also the next keyword that I would be using in my research is transhumanism. So you would search some of these sites to see what type of information I can get on the cyborg or transhumanism. So since I have information on the cyborg, let's look for transhumanism. Since this is a Wikipedia site, that would be the very last source that I would use because it's sometimes not reliable. You can't verify the sources. Okay, let's look at this one. This is a .org website. This is more reliable than the actual Wikipedia website, which is something that our professors taught us while doing the research in our classes. So just looking at this source, it actually defines the word transhumanism. And this is a website that is created by actual people that follow the transhumanist society. And they outline what transhumanism is, what is a posthuman, and the way that it is going to affect the society as far as society and politics, technology, and nature. So this actually would be a good source to use to define transhumanism in the way that the normal human will transform into the cyborg throughout the years. So this is a source that I would use for my presentation and for my research. So what I would do, I would read through the information. Because it says what is a transhuman, this would be a good way to define the transhuman and to let the readers know what the actual transhuman is and to give a little bit of background on that. And this one also gives you reasons why you should know what a transhuman is and what the transhumanist movement means in the future. So this is something that I would use to describe the rate that the cyborg will transition into society in the future. And this actually describes how much time it will take for the cyborg to become relevant in the future. And some people may not know that it will happen a lot sooner than what we may think. So this is something that would describe how soon, in a context of years, that we could use this information to describe how soon the transhumanist movement will occur and the role of the cyborg in the transhumanist movement. So I can use that. And this describes how the transhumanism can be used in your life, which is something that a lot of people don't realize, that you may already be have cyborgs in society that you're not aware of. So this would be a good source to use.
We are done.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I know, everybody says it goes by so fast.
It does.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.